4R, back R. Understood? Now, so up to this is your richest spring. This is richest spring. This is asthenospheric. Now, from here, the melting starts. When melting starts, you are getting here solid. Then here calc alkaline. Calc alkaline. That is the other side. Here you are getting alkaline. Can you tell me alkaline rock's name? Alkaline rock name?
Nepheline cyanide.
Nepheline cyanide. Yes. And what else? Lamprophile. Okay. Then Isolite, Sonkinite, all those things. Ducitides. Those type of rocks, you will find here. Suppose tomorrow you find some occurrences of these rocks in the field, what would be your interpretation? It is a deep-seated origin. It has come from very deep-seated. It comes from say around 300, 400 kilometers below it comes. But tholites, shallow. Calc alkaline, intermediate. So you can have an idea, intermediate, shallow volcanism, deep. So generally, always there is very deep seated fracture, this type of rocks do not come. So can you just name few alkaline rock occurrences in India? Alkaline rock occurrences. Nepheline cyanide किधर है? Singhum shear zone. Singhum shear zone. Odisha, Eastern Ghat mobile belt के margin में there are many alkaline rocks, Nepheline cyanides. Similarly, Kadapa margin में there are many lamprophyres. Prakasam alkaline complex in Eastern Ghats, in Andhra. So like this, there are many alkaline complexes or alkaline rocks, So what does it indicate then? This indicates very deep-seated origin. So many people define the occurrences of those rocks, signature of a subduction zone. Suppose the age of those rocks is 1000 million. So during 1000 million year, probably there was a subduction zone there. Simply if you get a tholite, you cannot conclude this. Simply if you get a tholite can occur in rift setting. I told you, in continental rift you can get tholite. But alkaline rocks has to have a very deep-seated origin. That only can happen in case of a subduction zone. Very deep-seated origin. So alkaline line occurrences mean there must be subduction. Just like ophiolites, if you get, you are telling it is a subduction zone. Similarly, if you get calc-alkaline rocks also, it will tell you a subduction zone. Similarly, alkaline rocks, it is also a subduction. Very deep-seated origin. Now, but you get a tholite, it may be subduction zone, it may be rift setting, or it may be intracontinental volcanism, like Deccan Trough, only tholites. So it has many sources. But whereas alkaline rocks, calc-alkaline rocks, they have only subduction zone origin. But follow this point. Now, what he says, suppose you have a tholite with you. And you are asked to tell what tectonic setting occurs, Suppose you get an alkaline rocks, fine, you can say it is a very old subduction zone. Or calc-alkaline. Calc-alkaline you are understanding, Undersides. It is also a subduction zone origin. Suppose I gave a tholite, The tholites are more widespread in a continent. Like suppose if you move over India, you will get so many tholite occurrences. Deccan Trough tholites. You go to Dharwar, you will get also tholites. Even the greenstones are having also tholites. If you go to Himalaya also, you will get tholites. So what he says, suppose you get some tholites, how to distinguish whether it belongs to rift setting, whether it belongs to intra-plate volcanism. You understand these things now. So these type of problems you may tackle, if you take a research work. अभी MSc level में तो कोई करता नहीं इसको. Suppose you get a rock, you have to find its tectonic setting. Suppose you find a volcanic rock. Generally volcanic rocks, remember. Why I am telling? These rocks, when they come, volcanic rocks are generally very forceful intrusions. Very forceful. They do not come slowly. whatever volcanism you are getting, suppose in Andaman volcanism or arc volcanism in Chile and Andes, they are very forceful intrusions. So when they come from here, they penetrate a very deep distance, very long distance through some fractures, they just migrate very fast and just comes out. Lot of ash flow takes place, brexia takes place, because of these eruptions. They are very fast flows. So when they come up, they undergo or they have very little chance for crustal contamination. Crustal contamination. Crustal contamination you are understanding. Suppose it is coming very slowly, very slowly it comes. It will take some few million years to stay there. Then again it comes up. That is called very slow intrusion. Plutonic intrusion they are called. Plutonic intrusion. And then they go upward. Just like granites. Granites move very slowly. But these rocks, they are very fast moving rocks. Through the fractures they intrude, just like I'll show you kimberlites. They are very fast, lamp profiles. They are very fast intrusions. So when they come up, they occur as volcanic rocks and show very little contamination. So that means it will reflect the composition of the source कहाँ से ये जो अंदर होकर आया यहाँ से जनरेट हुआ सोर्स यहाँ से मेल्टिंग हुआ यहाँ मेल्टिंग हुआ. So this will reflect what is the rock there, what is the rock in the slab, what is the rock here, what is the rock here. They directly carry the impression of those things to the surface. You understand this? You see how the magma generates there. See, this slab is that I told you. This slab is going down. This part, this liberates, fluid, H2O, maybe some silica. This type of fluid is generated from this slab. So this fluid touches this asthenosphere, touches this lithosphere, and it creates melting. So the melt is created here. The melt is created here. So melt is created here. So that means this melt will have the reflection of this rock as well as the fluid which is generating from here. This ये दोनों का reflection होगा ना. And while coming up, it moves very fast. So get little time, for crustal contamination. So whatever rock you will see here, if you just analyze it, it will reflect, what is the fluid came from the downgoing slab, what is the rock which is present immediately with it. So those things it will reflect. So it will tell little about the crustal contamination. It will tell all about this rock, this rock, this rock, this rock. You understand this part, na? But if you analyze a plutonic rock, just granite हो या gabbro हो या periodite हो, but they are very slow intrusions because of coarseness. They Pluton कुछ दिन इधर रहा, फिर then it migrates upward. They are very slow rising plutons, slow rising igneous rocks. So they will, acquire the characteristics of this surrounding. So they will alter its composition. So, but if you analyze the volcanic rocks, they will preserve its pristineness. Pristineness you are understanding, their originality. What was there here? So now, if I, as I told you, if you get an alkaline file, chloride if you get, how to distinguish? Whether it is in a rift setting, whether it is in a subduction zone setting, or it is in a continental setting. See, one which is generating from subduction zone, it is coming from here now. So whatever elements present in the fluid, whatever elements present in this overlying mantle, they will be carrying those signatures. Now suppose a tholite is generating from rift volcanics. Rift mein there is no undergoing slab. It is directly breaking the crust, breaking the lithosphere, breaking the solid lithosphere or the asthenosphere. It is coming from there and spreading. So it will have different signature, different composition. Similarly, suppose something is coming from D double S layer, जैसे decanter D double S आया, वो तो धीरे धीरे आता है, कितना डेप्थ से आता है, धीरे धीरे करके आता है, volcanic eruption होता है. So it will be, it is a lot of time, when all those crustal elements will be contaminated to it. You see, it is coming from D double S layer. So these three tholites will have different compositions. Though externally they will appear very similar, but if you analyze the trace elements in RE, these things, trace and RE, they will be different. But if you just see a thin section, it it will have plagioclase pyroxene and some olivines. There will not be any difference in the major elements. Remember, otherwise they cannot be tholite. Na? So major element के हिसाब से हम tholite, andesite या alkaline classify करते हैं. But if you go to trace elements, tholites from a subduction zone setting, tholites from a rift setting, and tholites from a intraplate volcanism setting, they will be different. You understand, because they are coming in a different way. Tholite which is coming from here, it is generating from what is the mechanism? The fluid will come from the subducting slab, it will touch this mantle, then they will melt it, then it will come. So it has one setting. Similarly in the rift, it is the extensional setting, the lithosphere is breaking away. So when the pressure is decreasing, it is melting. That is what is happening. When the pressure decreases, the rock melts. So that is a different setting there. Similarly, one which is coming from D double dash layer, it will have different setting, different signatures. So if you analyze those tholites, they will show different trace element and RE distribution pattern, you know. So you can have, suppose you are working some, even in MS digestion can be made, you are suppose in working in a working area, you are getting some tholites. It might have metamorphosed also. You analyze it with respect to trace element. Trace element, you understand what are the trace elements, what are the REs. You just analyze it and put them in a diagram. There are some diagrams which have been devised by some very good workers to discriminate these three settings. Understood, na? So that those diagrams are called discriminatory diagrams. You don't understand this part, what is discriminated diagrams? So these are generally geochemical plots taking trace element and RE element into consideration. So they plot them and they distinguish or discriminate one tectonic setting from the other. Understand that? Now I will show you one diagram. I will show you, there are many diagrams. I will show you few diagrams. At least one let us discuss depending on the time. See what is saying here. See, it is very easy to work on structural geology, it is very easy to work in base petrology, it is very easy to work in paleontology, but you work on tectonics, it is very difficult. The reason you know why? Suppose you are giving a tectonic setting to an area, suppose this area you are thinking that there was subduction. From structural point of view you are telling. When it goes for review, a geochemistry person will tell where is the geochemical analysis. If it goes to a petrologist, where are the ophiolites? If it goes to a paleontologist, he will ask where are the fish species, where are the mole species. You see, tectonics takes care of so many things, A convergent margin if you write, you may write this is isoclinal fold, you may write with frost, but can you write this belongs to a four-land tectonic setting? It includes so many things, including geochemistry, including petrography, including your structure, including so many things. That is why it is very difficult to work on tectonics. Because you have to understand many things together, then only you can write a tectonic. Suppose now I am telling you some diagrams using this trace and RE, it is not just a mechanical plot. Not just a mechanical plot. You have to understand, behavior of each trace element, behavior of each RE, or at least HRE and LRE. Then only you will be able to interpret those diagrams. So, in addition to doing structural geology, in addition to doing, similarly, suppose you have to understand why good amount of metamorphic petrology. Suppose you are dealing with the subduction zone. The rocks are getting thrusted off. When the rocks are getting thrusted off, the metamorphism, will show one character. Same thing, suppose in a rift setting there are some rocks. It will show different metamorphic character. You must have heard the clockwise path, anti-clockwise path. They all belong to this tectonic discrimination. So you have to understand quite good amount of metamorphic petrology also. That is a very beautiful attempt on tectonics. Because unless you understand all aspects of geology, tectonics में काम करना is very difficult. But when I am giving these diagrams, I am not a geochemist person. So I will give you some diagrams and explain some things. If you want to do something great detail, you need to understand each. The trace element geochemistry, RE geochemistry, you to understand, then only all these diagrams you can interpret. Just by mechanically you cannot do the things interpretation part. I will show you some diagrams. See, suppose I will draw it here. What is doing? He is plotting a diagram, you know. You understood what do mean by discriminatory plots or discriminatory diagram. He is drawing a plot, you know, between bolides was chondrite. You understood what does it mean? In a logarithmic scale, this is a logarithmic scale. See, the chondrite composition indicates, you know, the mental composition. Remember this one. Whatever chondrite composition you are telling, it reflects, you know, primitive mental or the mental composition. Mental has changed a lot now. Present mental is different from the primitive mental. So let us assume that the mental is same. That means it reflects the chondrite composition. Chondrite is just a replica of earth when it was originated. Suppose you get a chondrite value, the chondrites, remnants of chondrites you will get in earth as in form of meteorites. So people have collected it and they have analyzed. It has its trace element values, it has its RE element values, major element values. So that is called, it reflects the primitive earth composition. Now suppose you get a tholite now. Now suppose you are working in an area, you got some tholite. So this tholite is very recent tholite, na? Recent tholite. This tholite might be from Japan, say, from a subduction. This tholite may be from the Cambe rift or the Rajasthan rift or the Narmada rift. So there are present the tholites which is coming from a rift set. You may get a tholite from, say, Deccan. So there are present the tholites but from a intracontinental volcanism. Now this tholite has come from the mantle through different processes. Now if you compare this tholite composition with respect to chondrite, that is what he is telling. So the change it has happened, you know, from its primitiveness to today. So that will be signature, na? That will tell you a story how the rock has undergone the changes in different tectonic settings. You don't understand this part, I will not tell you. Suppose all of you are born in one village. All of you are born in one village, you know. So all your values are same at the time of birth. Now some of you went for study, some of you went for singing, some of you went for, you know, cattle raising, some of you went for agriculture, you know. So subsequently the input becomes different, you know. Input becomes different. Now if I analyze your potentiality with that first day potentiality, when all of it together, you know, so the differences will tell you, na, which system you have undergone. You understand this part, na? That is how you will discriminate whether you have an agricultural person or you are a educated person or you are a musician. So like this, you have to compare all these rocks with respect to chondrite. Why you understood, na? Or you have to compare with it with respect to some primitive mental. Some people compare with more comparison. Some people compare with primitive mental. Like this, you know, these comparisons are made. So you analyze a rock, the actual rock composition you cannot plot them. It has to be normalized with respect to chondrite, or it has to be normalized with respect to Medusan rich basalt, or it has to be normalized with primitive mental. So different workers, you know, they have taken different references to understand its areas. To understand this point, na? So in one axis you have to take this normalized values. Normalized, you understand, just to divide it, normalized values, and plot in a logarithmic scale, because these ratios may become very high or very low, you know. So you just normal scale will not work, you put a logarithmic scale. Now the other side, you know, I will remove. You take the REs, you know, LA, CE, then European will be somewhere, then YBAB. These are RE values. RE values. See, there is another diagram, two diagrams simultaneously. Why I am telling you, it will make some meaning. Here he is telling more normalized. More normalized. Here it is strontium, potassium, rubidium. You write down these values. Tantalum, niobium, then zirconium, then titanium, yttrium, YB. Understood, na? These are two different diagrams. One diagram is your purely RE. Another diagram is some trace elements, some RE. So the trace element RE together is normalized with more, and the RE is normalized with contracts. These are some of the standard diagrams, which has been made. You can very well use it. Very well use it if you are working a linear methodology. Now, what is telling draw this side. This side will be somewhere around 100. This side will be somewhere around 10. Understood, na? Here, you draw the diagram like this. You can draw it high. I'll tell you a little later, but to draw it as it is. Here, up to TA and B, up to TA and B, you make a very high rise like this. Over TA and NB, you make a depression. Similarly, over zircon, you make a rise. Over titanium, you make a fall. And then gradual fall, like. You draw now. Suppose I ask you to describe this diagram. So this basalt, this tholite is taken from a subduction. I am writing island R IAB. Island R basalt. So he is using a tholite and draw a diagram like this. He is using IAB, island R basalt, and putting it like this. ठीक है ना? Suppose I ask you to describe this diagram. How you describe? This will be described like this. The basalt is extremely enriched with LRE. Extremely enriched with LRE. Understood my point? I cannot tell you. And what about this? Extremely depleted, in HRE. Understood this part now, what I am writing? So third point you can write, the rock shows differentiation, very good differentiation with respect to RE. That means LR is very high, HR is very low. This is called good differentiation. The slope is very steep, slightly moderately steep you can say, and it has a European negative anomaly. European negative anomaly. So this character, this tholite is showing. Understood now? Similarly, this I will describe. Then how other graphs will show, I will tell you. How you describe this diagram? Here what he is plotting, you know, he is plotting SR, K, RB, and one is LA also in common. I forgot to write LA. Understood this part, na? This is tantalum and niobium. This zirconium, titanium, yttrium. I will describe this diagram. You know, describe. This shows enrichment, you know. इसमें enrich है ना? Enrichment in what? LIL, large iron lithophile elements. Strontium, potassium, rubidium, La. These are all called large iron lithophile elements. They are very large in size. Charge is less. So they are enriched. You know, to tell me next one is what? This. EANB is extremely depleted. Extremely depleted. Understood ना? Hard one क्या लिखूंगा मैं? Zirconium enriched. Titanium depleted. This type of language you should use for describing this discriminatory diagram. Then what about this HRE? HRE depleted. From this point I will not tell you. So this is the tholite or the iron ore basalt collected from the subduction zone. ठीक है ना? Now suppose you are giving a tholite from Deccan drop में आपको ये tholite. If you see under thin section there won't be any difference. Only plagioclase pyroxene जो कुछ interstitial structure दिखाएगा, plus कुछ vesicle दिखाएगा, सब एक ही जैसा लगेगा, कोई difference नहीं है. But you use these diagrams. You see clear differences. कैसे clear difference है बताता हूँ. आप इधर रखो, ये आपको दिखाऊंगा बस. यहाँ